Welcome to District 99 Lunchtime Live. Thank you for joining us this month. As we start out this message, this week has been a very difficult week in the District 99 community as we tragically lost one of our students last week, Beth Dunlap, who was killed when crossing the street to school a week ago. We send out our greatest heartfelt thoughts and our condolences to the Dunlap family. I'd also like to take a moment to thank everybody who has supported the Dunlap family, the school community, and our students and our staff over the last week, especially the first responders and our staff that were first on the scene. So with that, we'll continue with this week's message. So this week, some things that I'd like to get out and message to the community is obviously some pedestrian safety things that we're talking about and looking at. Amended school calendar because of our snow and cold days that have happened this year, the multitude of those. Some master facility plan updates and an invitation for a re-litter breakfast. We always end with a short Q&A, and then the next time we'll be back is next month on March 21st. So pedestrian safety improvements, we're investigating and discussing, as you can imagine, any number of things, and we're open to your ideas and suggestions. Please send them my way, and we will continue looking at everything that comes our direction as to how we can improve safety for our students that are walking to school. Things that have already been talked about and we'll continue to investigate and look at is obviously stoplight improvements at crossings and intersections. There's some complexity with that because some of our roads are village roads and some are county roads, but we're talking to all of the government bodies to make sure that we can make improvements in those areas. Obviously signage, we're talking to our students each year in ways that they can travel safely to and from school, and obviously as we talk about today's students, technology and those kinds of things play into those conversations. We're also investigating the idea of pedestrian walkways at our schools and what would be entailed in that. But there's a lot of feasibility and cost discussions around those that we'll have to enter into as well. And there's a whole many more ideas on our lists right now, but anything that you see or anything that you see that you'd like to share with us, please send it our way. If you ever see us anything regarding our schools that you feel is a safety issue, please reach out to us and let us know so that we can address that. The amended school calendar, we had 4 snow cold days, November 26th, and then 3 days at the end of January. We have a state requirement for 176 school days. That's how it's built around, is actual school days. So we're adding in, we already did the flexible learning day on President's Day, February 18th. So that got one of the days made up. The other 3 days will be our final exam days after Memorial Day weekend. We have not moved anything for seniors. So seniors will still end. Their last day of school will be May 17th with graduation on May 24th. Some quick master facility plan updates. So recently we've put out several videos on the website that go and provide you some in-depth updates on the first couple of phases of the master facility plan. Lots of images there and you can really dive in and take a look. We've also recently met with the Village Planning and Zoning Commission, and they're forwarding our proposal on to the Village Council. They'll be meeting in April on those. Out of those meetings, we heard from a couple of neighbors that had a few concerns still around our plans at North High, around the loading dock. Since then, we've made a few revisions. I'm going to show you those in a second. And just so you know, timeline, construction will really get in earnest in May. We'll do some asbestos removal at South High over spring break, and that will start the projects for the next 3 years. Here's a quick zoomed out view at that loading dock. One of the community suggestions was changing this gate a little bit so that it swings out and makes it so that pedestrians really have to walk around that walkway. So we've revised that view to show you kind of how that will look to respond to some neighborhood concerns. So just want to get those in front of you. Reminder, the construction timeline at South High this summer will be the front entrances and parking lot, administrative center, some culinary arts improvements, life skills classroom in the second turf field, and then the remainder of those projects you can read about on our website, go through the next 3 years. At the north side of town, secured vestibules. The Main Street side will be done this year. We're going to renovate our building services area. Radio TV classrooms and the multi-needs classrooms get updated. And we add 5 additional classrooms this year. And then once again, the rest of those details are available online for the rest of the years. The spot to go to is csd99.org/MFP. And when you get there, you can sign up to receive our Facility Fridays. Just about every week, we send out an update of what's happened over the last week with our facilities. And as construction begins in May, those will be a lot more exciting with some actual images and pictures of the building that's going on. And for those of you in the community that are realtors, we want you to know that on Tuesday, March 19th at South High, we'll have our annual Realtors Breakfast, which is a combined effort with us and the local elementary schools to share the successes of our schools and what we're doing around here that really helps realtors attract people into our community. So please come out to that and meet with myself and my fellow superintendents, and we'll share some good, exciting information about our schools. So that's the update for this week. As always, we take some Q&A at this point. Sounds like we have a question.
One question from Nate Pence.
Yeah.
Do you not see a conflict of interest that the same attorney, Shelley Anderson of Franzik, PC, that presents sexual harassment training to District 99 employees also defends the district in court against sexual harassment related allegations?
No, I don't see a conflict of interest with her, and she's an expert in the field and has updated our staff on best practices in working with students. And that's not just about protecting staff from legal issues. This is about protecting our students from being in compromising situations and making sure that we follow the letter of the law there. We also have received training from other members of the staff and are in contact with other members that are also folks that have worked for the Office of Civil Rights and have expertise in these areas. So it's the appropriate set of training for our staff.
He also asks, what makes this year's training different from training done in the past before these allegations were brought to light?
Well, about every couple of years we have a live training where our attorneys come in and work. Obviously things change and get modernized based mostly on changes in law or changes in technology. I think those are the two things that impact our staff quickly right now. So those things get worked into the presentations, but these are pretty standard kind of topics that get addressed around sexual harassment, abuse, neglect that we're required to by law train our staff on.
Those are all the questions.
All right, thank you so much. Have a great month, and thank you for tuning in.